We have a position paper on church government. It's available on our website, and it'll give you a lot more detail than I'm going to give you right now. But as a part of this, I'm going to cover some things that I think may be helpful in this process. An easy way to describe our governance is this: we are an elder-governed church. In fact, here's the way I would say it. We are elder-governed, senior pastor-led, staff and volunteer run, and congregation owned. The assets, the buildings, the resources of Gateway Church are owned by the members of Gateway Church. And because of that, when there is the sale of substantial amounts of real property or the purchase of substantial amounts of real property, it takes a vote. Now, from day one, when the church began, substantial amounts of real property have been defined as something in excess of 10% of our net value, our assets. So today, our assets sit at around 160 million. So we would make a $16 million decision through the process of elder discussion and the unity, that all of that. We would make a $16 million decision and not take it to a vote. So if you come from a church and if the church is going to buy a copier, everybody votes. Or we need a new van in the maintenance department. Everybody votes. You're going to be wondering, this place never votes. What's up? Why not? We think it's not about not wanting to be accountable. It's not about any level of arrogance. It's about the size of the operation and the movement of it. And so we have an audited financial statement that we present every year. We have an annual business meeting that we report the ongoing results of ministry to, and we'll answer most any question we'll answer any reasonable question, and most any question that relates to the finances. We are accountable to you. There have been a few times that didn't relate to money that we've had a vote, and so here's kind of a secondary piece, and that is when we introduce a new segment of vision, something that if you've been here a while, you'd go, well, I didn't know we were going to do that. Let's just say, because it was asked earlier, we've not had a plan to have a retirement community, a retirement facility. Probably, if we said, you know what, we really feel like God is calling us to start a retirement ministry, retirement facility, build the buildings and actually operate it. When we got ready to buy the land and to build the building, it'd probably come with not just a vote. Let's just say we could build the building and it would be under our limit financially, where it didn't need a vote. We probably would take it to a vote just to say, hey, we're moving this direction. Would you pray with us? There'd be communication first about why we're doing what we're doing, and then there'd be a vote to move us along in the process. That's what we did when we master planned. When we went to campus development, there was a vote that was a part of the process that launched the vision of it as well. So we're congregation owned. Staff and volunteer run. I've already mentioned the ministry could not operate. We can't, we believe in empowering ministry. We believe that the staff is responsible to equip, train, and release ministry, and we need every person on deck. So we have 5,000 volunteer opportunities. Our staff provides the general direction and the focus of ministry, but we can't do it all. We need able-bodied people committed to God and His service to be a part of that. That's the staff and volunteer run. Senior pastor led. We believe that God gives vision to one person, the primary vision to one person, and that's a singular headship. Gateway Church has a singular head. His name is Robert Morris. He's the one who God called, who God gave the vision, and then he has been surrounded with a plurality of leaders to make it be a part. So his responsibility is to lead and feed the congregation, to establish the vision of the church and to give direction to that vision, to lead in the process of that vision. He is the chairman of the elders. He's the senior elder. So he establishes the work of the governing of the ministry itself, and that's it. Now, practically speaking, he produces TV shows on a weekly basis, preaches at least 36 times a year in the weekend services. He does pastors' conferences and ministries that are all, he's a busy guy. Writes as a part of that as well. But we are senior pastor led. The vision, direction, initiative comes from him. Then we are elder governed. And by elder governed, I mean this. The elders don't operate the ministry on a day-to-day basis. That's the staff and volunteers role. The elders govern the work of ministry. So they have a financial governance. They approve the annual budget. They approve all the salary ranges that take place. They oversee the financial operations of the ministry on a monthly basis, week in, week out, but on a monthly basis. Did I say they approve the annual budget? They approve the annual budget. They monitor the results of ministry. So if someone were to come to them and say, I'm concerned about our children's ministry, the process wouldn't be for them to go to the children's ministry and make changes or try and initiate change. The process would be for them to come into the elder body and say, hey, I think there's a problem in our children's ministry. Can we talk about it? Then we talk through the issues, and then it would work out of the elder body into the organizational structure for the change and correction that takes place. Now, every person, even our elders, can be involved in an area of ministry, and through their involvement can influence direction and change. There's no problem with that. It's just the elders don't have organizational authority. And here's the way I would say it. Imagine if the board of directors, this is the way I used to say it anyway, the board of directors of General Motors. I don't think that a board member would go to a plant manager and tell them how many cars they need to manufacture at the Arlington plant. You know, that's not their role. In a similar way, it's not the elder's role to implement the process with the staffing of the vision that takes place. That's the structure of the organization with our roles and responsibilities. So the governing has a financial piece. It approves the budget, salaries, and it monitors the results of ministry and determines the major initiatives of the church from year to year. So the staff might say, hey, I think we ought to do this, but the elders are the ones that say, yes, we think we need to apply that. We're going to put pedal to the metal and give emphasis to that. We think it's time for a new campus. Yes, we agree with that. We think we need to add another service. Yes, we agree. They affirm those processes. We're elder governed, senior pastor led, staff and volunteer run, congregation owned. Now, here's some questions that I get a lot when I talk about this. How many elders do we have? Currently we have 9 elders. We have 6 staff, 3 non-staff. We follow if you look in Timothy and Titus, there is the descriptors there of what it is to be qualified to be an elder. And we have many people in our body who meet those scriptural qualifications. So why aren't they elders? We believe that other than meeting those criteria, that there are some things that we use that are a part of the selection process. When we appoint elders, we appoint them for life. So unless they resign or unless they're disqualified either because they've moved or for some personal reason, they're going to be an elder here at Gateway Church. And we do everything with unanimity, so there's a requirement that there's a chemistry piece to the process. You may be spiritually qualified, but is there a chemistry? Do you understand the vision of the work and ministry? And how do you fit with the other men? Because we believe God calls us into relationship together, and so that's a part of the process there. Rule of thumb, we say to be an elder, you need to have been at Gateway at least a year. If you come in from another church and you've been a high-level leader, we think that you need to soak in this environment and understand the vision, and before you just are recognizing that. Find a place of ministry before there would be an opportunity or recognition in that capacity. So but in our bylaws, there's no requirement of how the balance needs to be, staff versus non-staff. In fact, we don't really even think of it that way. We describe it that way, but you're an elder. And because the function is governing, if you have a staff role, you take off your staff role, you put on your governing hat, and you can govern apart from your staff responsibilities. Otherwise, you're really not qualified in that sense to be an elder. You need to think differently. And many times in our staffing, we'll identify and say, wait, this is something we need to talk to the elders about. So we just set it aside to an elder agenda, and we talk to the elders about it. We think easily in these terms. This is an elder function, this is a staff function, this is the way that it operates. We would like to have more non-staff elders, and we're constantly in prayer about that. I don't know how many we would have. Currently, though we have 9, the thought is we'd like to have 12. But that's not ours really to determine it. It's a part of the subjective part of God's leading and establishing relationship with qualified people that are a part of the process. Deacons. We have deacons. We have a deacon ministry. The difference between deacons and elders, deacons are service-oriented. They oversee areas of ministry that serve the body, like ushers or greeting or offering counting, that kind of thing. Not every person that does those things is a deacon, but the overseer of those, altar ministry, things like that, are deacons in our body. We recognize that the Bible refers to deaconesses. We believe that women can serve in this capacity. We have not yet appointed any women deacons. We've had the discussion. We realize it's scriptural. We just haven't made that appointment yet. We do think the elder function is for men only. The governing role, the oversight role, is for men only. And so the only place that a woman would not be able to function in ministry equal to a man in our congregation would be as senior pastor. We believe that the senior pastor role is a male role of leading, governing, and as an elder. Other than that, women can teach men. We have women pastors on our staff. Women are gifted and as capable as men are, and we recognize that in the process.